Kikipocalypse.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of News in the Garden with Cats. We bring you horrible stories of awful people doing awful things, but with pleasant background noise, beautiful plants, and kitties to make it all seem a little less tragic. Before we get into the darkness of the outside world, let's enjoy a look at the garden and see what's news there. Welcome to our newest team member, our garden correspondent, Farmer Kiki. Over to you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be joining the team. Here's the dirt. First things first, time to clean up Halloween decor and evaluate the garden from last year and plan our prep for next year.
Oh my God.
This time of year is all about tucking in your beds for a long winter with a chance of ice, snow, and cataclysm looming. No matter where you live, it's a great idea to sketch out your garden each year to visualize where both decorative and foodstuff perennials live, where different beds and projects are, and look forward to next year's growing season with those in mind. It's almost Christmas, but half of my plants think it's early spring as new shoots blast up past the leaves that just fell off the trees that are budding a week later, meaning their energy was still out in the plant rather than receding into the roots. The long-run implication is that the plant will have less stored energy as it wastes that stores in buds that keep getting killed off by frost. Mother Nature's going bonkers. Check out these monster zooks. Zook flower, here I come. For my drawn plan of mill and bee microfarm, I've included the following based on observation of my space. I will go more into depth on these topics throughout the year as we grow together. Decorative perennial plants are dark green with hatching. Food perennial plants in light green. Most are cut back, sometimes to the ground, so having a chart is helpful for crops such as asparagus, hops, and herbs. Gray beds are for mixed planting of beneficial flowers such as marigolds, cosmos, sunflowers, and nasturtiums. Brown indicates the major food growing beds. Locations are based on sun and water patterns as well as aesthetics and convenience. Brava! Plan made! Artichokes are a beautiful perennial food plant that are also pretty year-round with huge leaves like a sage and a fern had a cute baby that made delicious flowers for years on end. This is a strawberry tree. It usually flowers and fruits in the fall. Half of it was killed off by the ice storm this past winter. It's not only covered in blossoms right now, it has fully ripened fruit and browning leaves. 3 stages of development in one plant. But yeah, totally leaves from the trees are left as additional mulching, and all the grass clippings through spring will also be tossed in the beds as well. A warm bed is a happy bed. Time to get down more Halloween decor, so let's look over the front corner of the yard. Everything needs to be harvested, including end-of-the-year celery, parsley, and a few errant onions. The flowers are finally done blooming, so those all get cut back to the ground. Seeds will be harvested, and the roots are a great little nitrogen bundle to infuse the ground over winter. The basil bed will hold tomato beds next year, and vice versa, so that just gets a good clip and drop. I will also spread used coffee grounds and ground eggshells, what I like to call my breakfast blend, in the area to infuse the soil for the acidic-loving, calcium-deficient vine plants. Flower beds just need to be flattened and mulched. Take note of or mark the location of any perennial flowers to avoid sadness in the spring. The outer side of this bed is first-year asparagus, then several sage plants. Neither need to be cut back for the winter, but they appreciate a good mulch. The inside of the bed is an annual planting bed for veg and herbs, which get flattened and mulched. The asparagus in this location grew very well for its first year and will create a 3-foot-tall lacy privacy shield next year as well. I like to plant most perennials near masonry, being stone, cement, etc., because they help to keep the ground warmer and help perennial plants be successful. It's so fun to see the progress each year. There are a few perennial flowers along here. The 2 artichokes here at the corner stay lovely all year, near to the brick wall with strawberries filling in the ground below. A great pairing. The asparagus and the sage are planted along the sidewalk to hopefully keep toasty all winter long. It's getting more wacky every season. The tomatoes just won't stop. The plants got up to 7 feet tall this year with base vines thicker than my thumb. Heavy production for months, and they just keep popping up despite multiple freezes. There was new growth also developing right up to the day I cut them back. Nature is so confused, so let's move from the garden into the disaster that is the world outside our little green bubble. Back to you at the news desk. Thank you, Correspondent Farmer. It's time for Kikipocalypse episode 14, News Quickies. Brace yourselves, it's nasty. The infrastructure bill is going nowhere. The empty, compromised into nothing, bipartisan corporate handout bill is still not able to pass in a majority Congress, where it's the cornerstone of their president's agenda. But vote blue, no matter who. Tucker, Hunter, and Buxley are all in a club, and you're not in it. Amazon is being forced to allow the Alabama unionization vote to reoccur because they cheated like the greedy monsters they are, all while catastrophically lying to OSHA about the COVID numbers at their warehouses. But at least Lex Luthor thanked them for sending him to space in a giant penis. Much thoughts and prayers to the preachers and journalists who fearmonger about masks and vaccinations or claim that COVID is no big deal. I hope you believe the truth when you get it directly from your primary source. I also hope your families are safe and healthy. A well-known TV anchor was suspended and then fired for using his resources to investigate and further victimize the women that brought sexual assault or harassment charges against his politically powerful brother. Then it turns out there are accusations against the newscaster too. The real story is that people are surprised. The Q congresspersons in America continue to clout chase each other straight to the gates of hell. While some call for further armed insurrections, others endanger their co-workers by making up stories, and still others say that women should shut up and be happy baby makers. Remember when Handmaid's Tale came out just a few years ago and it was a fictional story? On that note, legally, women will soon have less rights than a cluster of cells in their bellies and no privacy or bodily autonomy, 'cause you know how women are. White supremacists are now openly marching in the Capitol, but at least something got them to wear a mask. Insurrectionist Karen is looking forward to prison because she's going to get those cut jail yard abs. She was absolutely too busy tweeting to learn anything from her research binge watching Orange is the New Black. God gave the most obvious burning bush level sign to warn the faux news propagandists of their willful ways, but instead it's being blamed on an Antifa conspiracy. The DOJ is now suing Texas over their egregious gerrymandering practices because truly everything is bigger in Texas, including their racist voter suppression efforts. A devastating tornado ripped across 4 states, hitting Kentucky the hardest. Workers in a candle-making factory were told they would be fired if they stopped working. You might think that's a pun, but it is, in fact, a reason for unionization. There were more tragedies at the Amazon warehouse, but I'm worn out, so let's call it good. As we ramp up for the holidays, let's all remember that every human group throughout history has celebrations falling in the middle of the darkest days, because those are the ones we all need to eat the good food, see the faces we miss the most, and burn shit. Or at least just holiday lights are good too. Christian traditions are based in pagan practices. That's not a judgment, it's just history. Modern Christmas celebration practices only developed in the past century, so let's not delude ourselves into thinking the pilgrims had massive gift hauls and Santa filters on Insta. Make your own traditions. Make the season light. Whatever we can do to make these days a little more merry and bright. Speaking of merry and bright, here's a cat to distract you from the whole catastrophic situation. Hello, kitty kitty. What would you like in your stocking? Catnip and world peace? I hear you, sister. each year, as this thumbnail of a yard is converted from a 50s bark dust slab of grass into a food forest cottage garden, the process gets simpler and more fruitful. As said before, the timing of everything is really off this year. We'll see how it goes, see if it snows, and we'll keep you in the nose. Here on Kikipocalypse, news in the garden with cats. See you next time. Happy holidays, and may your new year be awesome.
What's going on here, Gabrielle? I'm supposed to do...
First, the question still remains. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Discuss down below. And while you're there, you might as well like and subscribe. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. We are doing a really fun giveaway for the holidays. Every movie nostalgia theater that comes out during the holiday season, I am going to be giving away a extra super special gift box. All you have to do, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment with your favorite movie, a comment on this movie, or just a little gift box emoji. All the details are in the description below. We've got a lot of movies to make it through the next few weeks, so I hope to see you around